Hey folks, it's Rob Flux here with another Real Deal in the Field, and I'm out here with Henry Ledingham, one of my former students with his project here in Caboolture. Mate, this is a two-stage project, so tell me a little bit about the two stages firstly.
So we initially had to do a 1 into 2 for this project. There's a house way down the back which the owners of this big parcel of land behind us originally owned. They wanted to strip off the vacant lot and they didn't have the skills or the money to do that. So they put it out to tender. A whole bunch of developers put prices in, including myself, to purchase the vacant lot. And we, in that offering, were going to do a 1 into 2 to separate the vacant lot from them. So as part of that process to buy this parcel of land behind us, we needed to create it first of all. And that's how we did the 1 into 2.
And then stage 2 out of that process?
So stage 2 was, once we'd separated this vacant land here behind us, we did a 21 lot subdivision. And we actually submitted the applications, like the DAs, for the 1 into 2 and the 1 into 21 simultaneously.
At the same time. So stage 1, stage 2 application.
That's it, yeah.
Very good. So we're going to talk a little bit about the acquisition stage on that in a couple of minutes. We're going to pop around and show you where we carved off stage 1 and stage 2. And then we can have a look at some of the issues and challenges that we had on the project. So thank you, mate. We'll see you in 2 secs, folks. Here we are looking at stage 1 out of this, where we actually carved it into a 1 into 2. So Henry, what were the works that we actually had to do? So behind us is the main house that they kept.
Yes.
And then next door is the 21 lots that you're going to create. So what was the upgrade you had to do in order to get stage 1 carved off?
So we had to widen this road that's in front of us here. We had to put in this curb and channel because there was none here before. And then street trees, turfing, and then the footpath. So we've essentially upgraded this to a compliant standard for the council as it is now. And then looking back up here, you can see how it was previously. It was just grass with no curb and channel.
So you're going to have to do the same upgrades when you do the second stage of that, but this was really just to get stage 1 out of the way.
That's it.
Carve off so you can actually settle on, that vacant block.
That's it.
These guys have still got a substantial block left over that at some point in the future they can still live a fairly decent lifestyle, rural-ish, but suburbia is coming their way.
Yeah, that's it.
And then they can carve that up in a few years' time.
Yes. Yeah, there's more potential for them to carve off lots behind their house, but they're very happy living here, and yeah, they'll probably hang out here until they, move on to the other place.
The other place.
Yeah,
we're all going.
That is.
We're all going there, folks. We're going to go have a look at a couple of little, enhancements that Henry got out of this, where he actually managed to squeeze an extra block out of the process. So we're going to pop over the other side and have a look at that. So we'll see you in a soon. Hey folks, we're just out the front of a bioretention basin, and Henry's going to tell you in a sec how we managed to shrink this bioretention basin in order to squeeze an extra lot out of it. Now, firstly, you might tell you a little bit about what a bioretention basin is. You see, when vacant land is land, when rain comes from the sky, it absorbs into the land. But when we start to put hard surfaces in there, like roofs and driveways and roads and that sort of thing, the rain doesn't absorb into the land anymore. It starts to turn into stormwater. And then we actually have to then get that into the stormwater network, and a bioretention basin allows, the cleansing of that, getting filters it and that sort of thing, so that when it actually hits the stormwater network that council actually owns, council's infrastructure, it's nice and clean. So, mate, you managed to shrink the size of this. Why don't we firstly tell everyone how big it was originally going to be, and then what you managed to squeeze out of it?
Yeah. So I guess the standard that you should normally think of when you're thinking of these basins is 5% of your developable area you want to apportion to a basin, and half of that, so 2.5%, is used to capture and slow down the water, because you can't have it pumping into the system super fast because it will cause problems. And then the other 2.5% is used to clean the water, so get rid of rubbish, sediment, impurities, and that kind of thing. So overall, at the start, we allowed 5% of the development area. When we did some extra research on the network outside of the site, we found out that there was big pipes outside of the site which could take extra capacity. And so we did some stormwater modelling. We proved through that modelling that we could pump our water into those pipes without having to slow it down here. So we could then delete 2.5% of that area and just have a remaining 2.5% of that area to treat the quality.
Just for the quality control. So which then meant you managed to get an extra lot out of this?
Yeah. So it's translated to maybe a 450 or 500 square meter lot, which is a great size lot for the area.
And in this particular area, that's a lot of cash, folks, when that's straight on top of the bottom line. So well done, mate.
Thank you. Yeah.
Very good. Okay, mate, we're going to have a look at the road network and that sort of thing in a sec. So let's go pop over there. Hey, folks, we're at the end of the cul-de-sac on what is going to be the brand spanking new road here. Now, a lot of small-scale developers start out with a 1:2 and they've got delusions of grandeur of building a road. So let's see if we can give them some insights into what it takes to actually build a road, mate.
Yeah, I guess the first thing is to know what you're getting yourself into, and because with land subdivision and road construction, it's very dependent on the existing soil conditions. So first step, know what you're dealing with, and that's done by doing geotechnical testing and then also digging test pits. So we did that in due diligence, and we found out in that due diligence period that there's a lot of topsoil here. So we had to strip basically double what you normally do. And then because you're taking it away, you have to bring some stuff back, like import new fill. So that comes at a cost. So we apportion some cost to our contract for that. Then we also did some more testing, which told us that to construct a road like this, we are going to have to bring in some extra material to stabilize it. So again, knowing that up front allows us to go to our budget and apportion more cost there, so that's not a surprise once we actually do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a relatively flat site, so nice and easy from a civils perspective. As a matter of fact, you were saying before there was actually too flat.
Yes.
So had to build it up just a little bit.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, great that it's flat. You don't have to do a whole bunch of earthworks, but where we have stormwater and things like sewer, they're gravity fed, so you always need a grade on the pipe work. And so in this case, everything drains to this road here, and so the lot boundaries on the right and the left mean that we have to tip those up a bit, so raise them, fill them, put in retaining walls at the back, and grade everything into the road. So positive was that it was super flat, but the thing that you have to allow for if your site is super flat, just remember that you have to get some grade on it. So you'll probably have to do some extra work to tip it back to the drainage point, which is the road.
Absolutely, mate. Some great lessons for everyone out there. This is project number 5 for you, is that correct?
Yes.
So just showing people out there that you can start small and scale, although project number 1 for you wasn't that small. You started out with a 1:6 first go, so kudos to you, mate. But 5 projects in and a 1:21, folks, so know that can actually be done. Are you going to be keeping any of the stock out of this, mate?
Yes, yeah. The overall plan with my developing at the moment is to hold a lot where the project allows it, and then build a rental property. So that creates a rental income for myself, a passive income. So that's the goal with this one: keep a lot, and then potentially build a dual key, dual income property on it.
High revenue, high cash flow type project. So well done, mate.
Thank you.
Thank you. So for anyone who wants to see the full story, Henry will be presenting this at some point on our future Real Deals at our upcoming meetups. We run those meetups all the way around the country: Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, and Adelaide, and we live stream them everywhere. So if you want to participate in one of those, click on the links below. Mate, been an absolute pleasure seeing this one. Yeah. And we're going to go and have a look at another one of your projects around the corner. So we'll compare the difference, folks. See you soon.